afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for April 18th, 2021, Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Imagine that you come to a complete understanding that nothing can ever destroy you, because the essence of who you are cannot be threatened, harmed, or lost. It is impossible to damage a being made of light. So you can relax, breathe now, and inhale this love that you are. You are safe beyond your wildest imagination. Let go and enjoy. There's nothing, and then of course there's been some writings about the fact that we can be destroyed by nuclear energy. But to the best of my knowledge, none of us have been. So the soul, the energy that you are, cannot be destroyed, cannot be harmed. The body, which is temporary, it's like a suit of clothing, ends eventually. So it's to understand that, to really embrace that the God within these bodies cannot be destroyed. It's pure energy, made of light. All of us are. So you're not this exterior that we've been, this outworld that we've been manipulated in, to think that we're separate from our bodies, that we're not one, and that everything's separate, kind of conveys to many of us to be frightened, fearful. And it's all about mastering our thoughts. Everything is about mastering your thoughts. Buddha mastered his thoughts. We've got thousands of paths to enlightenment, and 1,000,000 doors we can walk through to experience each moment as divine. One of these precious doors is not so easy or obvious for us to see, yet we unconsciously step through it every single day. And it is the perpetual swinging door of judgment. We are so often unaware whenever we are passing judgment, and obvious of how it is a secret passageway to the most enlightened and heavenly state of being. No matter if we are conscious human beings or not, this mind of ours is constantly judging ourselves, other people, this world, and anything that it can get a hold of. And this mind was born with this master-like judgeaholic power. I don't think any of us, have been exempt through our lives, through these lives, of judging. And the mind can judge anything in a millisecond. And we may not have realized this yet, but probably in the last 15 minutes, your mind passed 10 judgments on yourself, someone else, or something in the world around you as either good or bad. And the judgmental mind is perpetually busy working away at labeling life, and this workaholic is a slippery gremlin to catch. We are so used to, conditioned to the mind judging everything in this life. It's as if we've been soaking our hands in warm water for 25 years and we don't realize that it's completely wrinkled and about to fall off. So to clarify it exactly what judgment is the mind labeling something in life as either good or bad, but not both. It is a one-sided viewpoint of existence which separates and divides. And interestingly enough, judgment manifests itself only when we are living up in the head and are disconnected from our heart. When we are living from the heart, the mind cannot judge, period. It can't judge. It's not able to. This occurs because the heart is free from duality, and the mind can only exist in duality, seeing black and white. The heart cannot get hooked in whatever the mind believes is only good or only bad. When the heart is leading the way, we are free from the perpetual prison of the judging mind. And if we are to be free from judgment, we must choose to drop out of the head and into the heart. And the mind will quiet and become very still. And from this space, we can watch our mind closely and see just how slippery its judgmental habit is. We want to watch the mind. We don't want to be in the mind. We want to watch it. We don't care to be in it. We can see how it tends to avoid what it deems as scary. And the mind often believes that if I get what I want, this is good, then I will be happy. How many times have we said that to ourselves? If I get what I want, then this will be good because then I'll be happy. And if I get what I don't want, this is bad, and then I'll be unhappy. The more enlightened path is understanding that in this great divine, supreme, all-intelligent universe, we are going to get it all. We always, always, always get what we want and what we don't want. For example, we might manifest our dream partner or soulmate, only to later realize that they trigger our deepest, darkest issues and childhood insecurities to surface every day. Or perhaps we spend half our life running in the great social rat race, being devoted to striving, achieving big, luxurious dreams, and becoming financially free, only to realize later that we missed out on so many beautiful sunsets while we were indoors chasing some fantasy. Life is always both. We get death and birth. We always get both. And this polar opposite is inside everything that exists. The yin is contained within the yang, and the yang within the yin. The more we often practice seeing, feeling into, and accepting how we always get what we want and what we don't want in this life, the judgmental mind just drops on its own accord. We naturally start living every day in a deep harmony and existence. And with existence, we become vulnerable to existence again, and in this sweet humility, we can feel the great perfection of this life. We deeply accept that this existence is the expression of the highest intelligence, and that the good and bad judgment plan is the smartest plan available from God to create a spiritual awakening experience inside every being on this earth. You may want to challenge yourself to see if you can find a single situation, person or thing of this world that is only 100% positive and does not also have the tiniest hidden negative byproduct within it. If you think you found something like a new flower budding or an amazing sunset, just wait and investigate it a bit longer, as both sides will eventually show. There is always another side to the coin, as the flower will one day wither away and the amazing sunset colors always fade into the darkness. We always get both. The rose always comes with a few thorns, even if they are small. So you might want to invite yourself for today is to free yourself from the judgment habit. You can do this. Just start looking deeper into yourself and accept any judgments you may have, such as I'm too fat, too short, too ugly, too poor, too dumb, too smart, too much in my head. You welcome all the judgments you have about yourself and just don't reject, avoid, or judge them. So don't reject all of the judgments you may have of yourself. Avoid or even judge them. See them for what they are. They are one-sided judgments that you have about you. And when you can truly see and welcome the judgment, it will have less energy and magnetic pull on you. And in a matter of minutes, the contracting hard feeling around the judgmental thought will lessen, drop into stillness, and you will become truly free from it. And as far as this welcoming process works, the secret is moving totally into the experience of judging. When you consciously are feeling only one side of the judgment, awareness grows in you. You cannot fall into that old judgment again so easily next time. You can see just how it impacts your mind, emotions, and heart. And when you remain in a one-sided experience of life deeply and fully for a long time, something inside you will soon tire. And then the judgment pendulum just swings to the other side. For instance, you may feel and say, I am never good enough. I cannot do anything right. You ever done that? Something similar? After welcoming that judgment and feeling for 5 to 10 or even 20 minutes, something in you will exhaust itself and release the contraction and wake up. So this smaller, more enlightened aspect inside you will sneak in and perceive that on some level you are doing everything right and you are totally good enough. When you welcome judgment, the judgment pendulum soon swings. And this allows you to know what perfect peace feels like. Some people may think that always welcoming and acknowledging both the good and the bad in this life is just some boring, fatalistic, nihilistic, uncreative path that only leads to a state of apathy. But the opposite, quite the contrary, is true. By learning to accept and welcome it all, we will find that we are truly okay with everything that is and feel a more spacious quality within ourselves. We feel we have more time to develop our ability to expand our consciousness and relax into our lives. And from this expanded space, we will dramatically increase our manifesting vibration, deepening our state of inner peace and becoming a magnet for the most amazing life situations to occur. You face these. You face everything with yourself. It's not a grapple, okay? It's not a fisticuff type situation. It's more you're welcoming all of the judgments that you have on yourself, and you're facing these judgments, and you'll find that these judgments that you have of yourself will begin to vaporize. But if you ignore them, they will begin to expand. You'll find that the welcoming process is extremely powerful, simply because it leaves nothing out. It comes from a deep spiritual place inside each and every single one of us that is saying yes to the totality of our existence. We are not interested in fighting, proving anything, or resisting life anymore. Instead, we move and feel totally fluid like water without resistance, force, or control. And in this state, it's so easy to realize that God is everywhere and in everything. Don't judge a day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant. Robert Louis Stevenson. It's an old quote, quite true. It is in this deep, welcoming mind that creates an enlightened mindset, where we actually feel, see, and understand the divine perfection of this life. We all become more interesting people as we stop wasting our energy trying to negate others, ourselves, or continuously be upset with the way life is. In a mind that is free from all judgments of ourselves and others, we naturally appreciate it all. We can see that the glass is half empty and half full at the same time. We can feel this infinite empty universe all around us, and also sense how the sun is always rising somewhere on this planet, sharing and radiating its brilliant light. Living in the enlightened mindset is like floating in a sea of orgasm. Waves of deep cosmic opening to joy, happiness, appreciation, and ecstasy can actually waft through our bodies at any time. When the mind is not occupied with judgments, we have more energy to make more love, explore our spiritual nature, and taste the freedom that exists at the core of our being. When we can live daily in this enlightened mindset, everything inside us changes. All the previous pain we've been carrying seems to have mysteriously disappeared. We can naturally and fully relax in our divine balanced nature. What you may find the most interesting aspect of all is that this judgment-free, enlightened mind is our most natural state of being. Judgment-free, enlightened mind is our most natural state of being. It is already inside us and exists at the core of who we are, at the seed of our consciousness itself. We can only experience it directly, however, when we have respect and reverence for the perfect balance that exists in everything. When we acknowledge the divine balance within every situation, person, coincidence, accident, belief, memory, and the atom throughout the universe, we can open up to it. The more acceptance we have that there's always always good in the bad and bad in the good. Something deeper inside us lets go, and we can finally relax into our deepest spiritual experience of this life. When the mind calls off the search for defining and redefining what's good and bad, we have an infinite reservoir of creative energy to surrender fully to our soul. And this enlightened life is not just about cultivating a deeper relationship with our minds. It's about getting beyond the mind. When we master our minds, we no longer live in fear. When the mind falls from its altar, we rise to the summit. And as we learn how to drop into a perpetual state of surrender, allowing the greater intelligence of this universe to run the entire show, we see how every precious moment in this life has this bigger universal force behind it all. In seeing this, the mind totally gives up, and we realize that we have become the perfection that exists within everything. With enough awareness, we can totally stop the judgmental mind habit and wake up from the addiction. Then we'll know what real freedom is like. And nothing else will satisfy more than this freedom. And this true freedom is free from all forms of pain. It is the greatest experience of this life. This means the mind can slip back into clinging to delusion and desire. And you don't. The mind might crave wine and yearn to be free, yet you know that you are the one behind it, who is actually already free. You remain the watcher. And I emphasize, remain the watcher, deeply detached and liberated from the mind's antics. It's the greatest, deepest of all when you realize that you are not your mind. You're not your mind. No matter how much you have thought that you are your mind, you are not. The more we practice welcoming judgments, the easier it becomes to see the mind and how to be free from it. When we can always see the good, the bad, and the balanced meeting of the two, then the struggle of this life doesn't matter so much anymore. The mind soon gets trained to only see balance and perfection. It automatically observes how the good is in the bad, and the bad is in the good, and how these two worlds always collide, and there is nothing left but freedom. There is just a pure observer watching, and witnessing it all. Rely on the essence of your pure wisdom mind, not on judgmental perceptions. Rely on the spirit and meaning of the teachings, not on the words. Buddhist teaching. The enlightened, judgment-free mind is always available and shows up when we release the need to be right and instead create more room to be happy. Wouldn't you rather be happy than right? We're always trying to press ourselves to be right. Wouldn't it be just so much better to be happy, to create more room to be happy? And to end the incessant mind's draw and scraping to be right all the time? Happiness through inner peace becomes the goal, instead of striving and focusing on surviving this life. With inner peace as the priority, the dualistic mind soon becomes free from attachment, desire, resistance, and contraction. We surrender to the heart and can actually feel deeply okay with whatever manifests and does not manifest in our lives. This is an enlightened mindset and it is not hard to achieve. It just takes the most deeply rooted devotion to ourselves. Devotion to ourselves. We must choose to be willing to know ourselves intimately and never stray from exploring further about who and what we are. This exploration leads to a profound honoring of the sacredness in all things in this life. We start honoring that this balanced state of perfection is everywhere, and we have nothing to complain about or try to change in ourselves anymore. Instead, we start worshiping everything around us. We see everything and everyone as the divine in physical form. We bow down to this very ordinary life, and we call it God. We look into a blade of grass and understand how it's just as sacred and important as our entire galaxy. To remain in a judgment-free, enlightened mind every day, we must choose to look at what cannot be looked at and revel in being totally real with our pain. If we wish to remain liberated, we must be willing to see where we are still in prison fighting to get out. And as long as we are fighting, we are still not truly free. So we must always be aware of the slippery mind. We must choose to never allow the sneaky judgments to take over us again. We must be 100% creatively devoted to continuously being awake, aware, and ready to step beyond a seemingly safe, judgmental world. We must become the black sheep of this world if we are to be truly free. We cannot ever agree with anyone who says that some things are just 100% bad and nothing good at all will ever come out of it. You ever heard that? I think we all have one time, shape, form, or another. We must stop all movement whenever any judgment arises. We must watch our thoughts and beliefs vigilantly. Be totally aware whenever the mind starts believing in some final truth. We must choose to do everything we can so that the ego cannot harden and cling to any opinions formed or thoughts containing right and wrong beliefs. And this path takes some serious devotion. I mean, serious devotion. Blaming holds you in the energy of the duality of victim and abuser. Forgiving is a direct way of reclaiming your power and freeing yourself to love beyond judgment, grace alone. Some people will tell you how this universe is not already in a perfect design, how it's not, okay, what can be improved, and so on and so forth. They might try to make you believe that you should only get what you want, nothing else. And this seems like the ideal situation to be in, doesn't it? Well, the spiritual awakening process is always much deeper and more complex than it appears to be. If the universe was set up this way, the great mystery would be gone. If we should never know what a block, problem, pain, or failure was like, we would be without direction. We would feel perpetually numb, have no longing to dig deep inside our souls to find our life mission, creativity, and spiritual path. This universe is already set up in the most intelligent, perfect manner. It's designed so that we all can get a good, solid taste of suffering, anxiety, or inner turmoil and use it to awaken with. And whenever we go unconscious and forget the divine, all-intelligent universe is everywhere around us, we instantly suffer. And whenever we allow the mind to form any judgment and register only on one side of reality, then our problems begin. The universe loves us so much that it doesn't want us to live in any lie. So it wakes us up with a little stress, anxiety, and emotional pain. If we don't stop and drop our judgments, another level of suffering will soon manifest. This pain is our most perfect and most loving teacher, and by welcoming it fully, we are led back to our real state of love, enlightenment, and freedom. So this is our understanding, and it is a choice for us, each of us. It's no one else's choice, it's only yours. And you determine how this vibrationally communicates with you. And you'll find out that the God within you embraces this vibrational frequency. If we didn't have things that we at times in this life struggled with, we didn't have pain, anxiety, and we didn't experience all these emotions, how would we learn? And then people say, well, why do we have to have it over and over again? Because you haven't learned yet. And you keep sending the same signals out to the universe. So the universe reciprocates and keeps giving you the same stuff. And eventually you pick up on it and you start understanding. If you're fortunate enough with yourself, you'll pick up on it and you'll start discovering, this is why I keep attracting this stuff. This is why I keep going through this pain, these challenges, these obstacles, suffering. It's because I haven't learned from it. So I continually manifest it and keep experiencing it. The universe keeps sending it to me until I wake up and I understand what it's all about. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax our bodies. This is absolutely omnipotently important to relax our bodies, not superficially. Some people just, I'm relaxed. But inside, they're the opposite. Some people you come across, they look kind of like when you're looking at them, they look real serious and doomy and gloomy. But inside, they're celebrating. It's the old adage: don't ever try to judge the book by its cover, and don't ever, once you understand that, and never judge the book itself, and never judge the contents of the book. So once we experience the understanding, and we get it, is that we get it. We embrace it. So we look at our bodies and we say, yes, relax my body. So you surrender. You relax. You let go of stuff that you're holding on to. And it doesn't mean that you're physically holding on to things. It just means that you will not let go of things, emotions, anxieties, stresses, worries, fears. Concerned about things, into the future, into the past, but it's very rarely in the now. But you're always wondering and worrying about certain things. Could be small, could be insignificant, but to you they're big, they're huge. So it's mastering the body. When you let go and you decide that the body's no longer going to be stressed out, so you relax in the body, which you lean back into the God that you are. And the body's just going to absolutely reciprocate. It's going to just absolutely fall into deep relaxation. That's why people in this meditation fall asleep sometimes. Which shows you that many of us, many of us, do not have relaxed bodies. We may think so. You may think, well, I'm going to go on an R&R and take a couple of weeks, and I'm going to relax. But if you don't know who and what you are, how in the heck are you going to really relax? So as you relax your body, it eases in to the God that you are. You're in that big easy chair, you just get into it, and you just don't care to move at all. It is so comfortable, so warm and relaxing that you just plant and stay there. And at that stage, when you do get to the point of relaxing the body to that level, then you're in the heart mind. You're not in the ego mind. You're in the heart mind. And you're watching. And you move into the now. And when we move into the now, you'll experience it. When you move into the now, you leave the mind and the ego. You leave the subconscious mind. You don't interact with them, so to speak. You watch them, and you learn from them. You watch how they operate, and you're consciously aware of it. It takes commitment and dedication for you to do this. And you still the mind, see? All that chatter and noise that we all literally are immersed in at 24/7, all these thoughts just randomly rushing through, and it's clouds in the sky just passing by. Or some of us have it where you're sitting on the side of the super highway, and you've got all of these thoughts zooming by you at lightning speeds, almost like a blur. There's so many of them, tens of thousands of them, and the majority of them aren't even ours. The reason they're not ours is that when these bodies were growing up, all the people outside of us, all the people, all the things, all the intentions, all the guidelines, all the structure, all the teachings, they aren't your thoughts. They're theirs. And they're probably not theirs because they were given them from someone else. You see how it works? But it's to be conscious about. And eventually you get to the point, this isn't my thought. That's why it's so weird, see? Understand? That's why it's so weird to us sometimes. Where'd that thought come from? That's not my thought. I can't. Where did that come from? This tip of the iceberg of becoming consciously aware. So in the now, stilling the mind, that noise is gone because you're only focused on the moment. When the moment passed, it's the past. It's dead. It's inert. Only the moment, the space between heartbeats, the now, allows us to vacate the mind, the ego, and the subconscious mind, and watch them and learn from them so that we know how to lead them rather than them leading us. This is the great direction to eventually having the mind and the ego be no more. So some of us will go in the past. Some of us reminisce. I think all of us reminisce. We all reminisce. We all have memories. It's part of our experience in this life. The memories we garner, the things, the memories we have with us, experiencing in the now, and we collect them in our subconscious mind, the memories. Every now and then we pull on them, and, things bring certain things up, and then we get nostalgic and reminisce. It's kind of fun. But we don't do it incessantly. We don't do it all the time. Okay? And some of us, though, they go into the past and they stay in the past. They embrace these memories over and over and over and over again, and they stay in the past. The past is like an elephant graveyard, bones and carcasses and, fogginess. And it's just all dead. It's inert. And so But see, some of us will do that, and we'll end up bringing that past into a future that doesn't exist. And we'll create that future from that past, and we'll relive that past in that future. This is why we say, some of us will say to ourselves, why is it that I keep ending up here? No matter what I try and what direction or what application, I always seem to end up here. Why is that? And that's why. Some of us go into a future that doesn't exist, but, dreaming and wondering is great. I mean, it's part of our imaginations. But wandering is different. Some of us will wander into a future that doesn't exist, and we'll sit there with ourselves and say, why is it that I don't have this? How come I don't have that? When am I going to have this? When is this going to happen for me? Okay? You can see the difference between the past and the future that doesn't exist. So everything happens in the now. And now is absolutely omnipotently powerful. How do we stay in the now? Because those thoughts are still kind of quaffing through. Not like they were when we were in the mind, but they're out there, just out of habit. Sometimes we'll grab onto them, we'll revert back, and we'll float off. But the neat thing is that when we're consciously aware of this, we just simply say, okay, so I'm wandering off, no big deal. I'll focus on my breath, and I'll be in the now. And once you focus on your breath, you're in the now 3,000% of the time. It's really nice to have that understanding with yourself. So whenever you begin to move out of the now by embracing thoughts that aren't yours, and you start going off, and who knows where, you focus on your breath. You can be doing it when you're walking somewhere. It doesn't matter where you're at. You don't have to take gobs of air and huge breaths. You just very easily and softly focus on your breath. And the breath is divine positive energy. It focuses us, relaxes us, eases us, energizes and strengthens us. It sustains the vessel that houses the kingdom of God. How can it not be divine? It's omnipotently powerful. So we have our divine positive energy, our breath, and we have our God force love light energy, which is the soul, the God within us, which emanates the light that we are and the love that we are. And this energy flows through us constantly, 24/7, never ends. Okay? When it's ending, when we leave the body and we take the power that we are out of the body stops. That's what happens. We're the ones, the soul powers these bodies. That's why the body is connected to the mother, so the mother's soul can sustain the body until the soul enters the body, and then that soul sustains the body. That's how it's structured. That's how it's designed. And when our light leaves the body ceases to operate. And it's over. The body could not run on itself. Once we understand this and we understand the functions, this is about mastering the body as well as the mind and the ego. There's a few things that we master, that we work on, if we're consciously aware. Instead of being caught up in this matrix rat race on this planet, in this life. So understand that, and it's for us to choose this, but our bodies have these etheric wheels of light, and they go from the tip of our tailbone all the way up to the center of the top of our head. And these are all vibrantly colored lights. They're geometrical shapes in the centers, and they're all different flowers, all different colors. They're all connected to our organs, our emotions, all going all the way up. They don't miss a beat. And so it gives us the understanding that the majority of us, the things that we seem to like say, well, we know this or we know that. It's these chakras, these energy vortexes, carrying our God force love light energy, our chi, our ki, our prana, and our divine positive energy, our breath. And their energy comes from the God within us, the cosmic life force. And everything, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra, they all etherically, which means they're not hard, matter. They're etherical. They're spiritual. And they all connect to everything about these bodies. And every one of them, when you realize that we have, with the root chakra, we have survival. And the survival is blocked by our fear. And then we have the sacral chakra, the orange wheel of light, deals with our pleasure. It's blocked by our guilt. When you're having fun and everything seems to be flowing and wonderful and all that, and you have this little urge, this uncomfortable feeling starts steeping in, and it's a feeling of forlornment, or you start going, I'm not going to have fun like this forever. It's just once in a while. I know it's going to end sooner or later. You see how we do this? That's our guilt. Then we go to the yellow wheel of light that deals with our willpower, and the willpower is our solar plexus chakra. And guess what? What's our willpower blocked by? Shame. And then we move to the emerald green wheel of light. This is the heart chakra. This is our love. This is what we are. And it stops, and it's literally blocked by grief. Grief and love are two different things completely. They're not connected. And then we move to the blue wheel of light. This is the throat chakra. And what is it blocked by? Lies. Because it is our truth. It's the truth. And it's blocked by lies. And then we move to the indigo wheel of light, the ajna. It deals with our insight, and it's blocked by illusion. And then the crown chakra, the violet wheel of light. It deals with cosmic energy, the sahasrara. It's the connection we have to the divine. Who's the divine? What's inside you is the divine. You are the divine. You, the God source. So the crown chakra connects what you really are. You see how we can just not remember any, and not even understand this energy, these frequencies. And we bring this is like a perpetual fountain of energy, this body, because we're in it. And we are pure love light energy, so that we are flowing through all of these chakras up and around, perpetually. So we visualize through our heart, mind's motion picture, we see the God force love light energy and the divine positive energy, our breath, and we hold them at the top of our heads. Once we bring them through this, and this goes on constantly, and we hold them that we know that we are love, we are light, and we are God. And in that brief moment, we hold these energies, we compress and condense them into omnipotently powerful liquid energy. We release them over our pineal glands. Now, our pineal glands, none of us have fully functioning pineal glands. They're constricted. But we will. And you can see your pineal gland however you view it through your heart, mind, motion picture. I see it as a green ball, a rosebud. And when I release this omnipotently powerful liquid energy over it, it instantaneously turns into this massive, fully bloomed rose with multicolored petals and a phenomenal fragrance. And it's sending waves, kind of real subtle, shimmering waves that come into me, penetrate, saturate constantly. It's like a constant flow. And the deepest eternal peace takes front and center with me. There's no words to describe it. It's blissful. It's total ease. It's so relaxing. I mean, it's beyond anything you can imagine when you think your body's relaxed. And then this deep eternal love and this deep eternal gratitude. And with these three, it's like being in a constant state of nirvana. And it doesn't end. It's not passing. And then I finally discover that it is the God within me showing me that I am the God. I am the source. And the pineal gland connects us to all the particles of existence. So you can understand that when it's fully functioning and the prime perfection, you will be able to travel anywhere you decide through all the particles of existence and all things and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. That's a fact. Not going to happen tomorrow, not overnight. Takes commitment, dedication. We're all consciously aware that we're of and from the highest of deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest eternal gratitude. These bodies that we're in, the heart mind, the ego mind, subconscious mind, the soul, the spirit, the higher self, the God, the pure consciousness, all one. We are literally heaven on earth. The soul, the God source, is the heaven. The body is the earth. We are heaven on earth. And every step we take on this planet, we're creating paradise. And we're shining our light outward. Our God force, love, light, energy, we're like these massive floodlights. And it's not just a beam, it's everywhere. 360 degrees around us. We're shining it outward, everywhere. We're flooding all life, the highest supreme value in the universe, every bit on, in, above, and below this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now, forming the circle of light and the complete liberation of this planet. We're omnipotently powerful beings. We always have been, and we always will be. So, and then we may come to an understanding that when we leave these bodies, we will have discovered while we're in them that we are the light, and that when we leave them, we don't need to follow the light because of the fact that we are the light. Now, we're all parts of the collective consciousness of the God, the one God. And some of us are awake and some of us aren't awake. And we can all see that without judging. So we communicate with other parts of ourselves that are consciously aware, that they're awake. Part of the collective consciousness, part of the God. So we call out to all the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath her. All these civilizations, yet only those who are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, can be with us in this now, in this meditation, forming the circle of light and the complete liberation of this planet. They can't be if they're asleep. Well, then that means we're separate. No, they're with us. They're part of us, but they're asleep. Those parts of us are asleep. So we're communicating with the parts of us that are awake. And they come in the billions, and they're consciously with us now. We call upon all of the light energy beings out there that are in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, yet only those who are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude can be with us in this now, in this meditation, forming the circle of light. Now, they come in the gigaplexes. One gigaplex fills this entire universe with no space to spare. They come in numbers trillions from trillions of universes in every direction. And they are with us now consciously. We call upon all of the off-worlders, all the galactics, all the celestials, yet only those who are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude can be with us in this now, in this meditation to form this circle of light and complete liberation of this planet. And they come in the trillions from every direction, and they are with us now consciously. You can feel the frequency as it increases, as it lifts higher and higher. You can actually feel it because it's a part of us. And we're only familiar with just a smidgen of them. Over 1,000 travel through the solar system every day, and trillions throughout the universes every day. And the ones that we're somewhat familiar with, Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the felines, Zeta Reticuli, the Nords, the Greys, the Draco, the Reptilian, the Golden Pyramid, the Avian, and many, many, many more. They've been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. And they are with us now consciously. Call upon all of our loved ones, all of those who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. Yet only those who are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude can be with us in this now, in this meditation of forming this circle of light. And they come in the billions, and they're with us now, consciously. We call upon all the light energy beings who have decided to be housed in the following forms on and above and below this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. Yet only those who are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude can be with us in this now, in this meditation, in the forming of this circle of light, and the complete liberation of this planet. Now, they come in numbers in the trillions, and shapes, color, sizes, forms, configurations of which we've never seen, ever. As a matter of fact, we only see 1% of what is, even if that. And the ones that we're somewhat familiar with, the fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, The mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur, and many, many, many more. And they are with us now consciously. So arm in arm, hand in hand, all of us together, awake, consciously aware. This includes the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes, ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Sananda, Christ, El Morya, Abundantia, Pale Thought, Yama, Yeshua. Many, many, many more. And we're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, prosperity, tranquility, benevolence. And we're all one, we're all God, and we're all love. And our God force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now. This light emanates from our true core existence, the God source, the light, the love that we are. Our true essence, our true immortality, divine perfection. And we're shining this light 360 degrees everywhere. We're flooding all of our brothers and sisters, all life, the highest supreme value universe, everywhere, constantly, perpetually. Increasing the vibrational frequencies of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, into the higher and higher and higher vibrational frequencies of deep eternal love and gratitude. So as we are ascending, levitating above the planet as this circle of light, this light is so brilliant that it grays out the darkness of sacred space. It would take over 1,000 billion suns in this solar system alone to even come close to its radiance. We are immediately met with an ocean of glitter. It's massive, it's everywhere. And we have just absolutely uncountable trillions and beyond trillions of flashing lights everywhere, reflecting. And we look at these, the origin of these reflections, and they're perfectly etched tiny microscopic mirrors. And then we learn that the hundreds of millions of us, on-world and off-world, all gathered consciously for the liberation of this planet, are teachers, students. We are both students. We are both teachers. We are all learning from each other, whether consciously or unconsciously. This is 24/7. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that reminds us all that we are the power of healing. We're then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that reminds us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. Then we're met with the white fire. This is a column of light that reminds each and every single one of us that we are imbued with a white fire armor. This armor emanates from the God source, the soul within us. It is divine perfection. It cannot be harmed, cannot be destroyed. No demon possession, no attachments, no voodoo, no Wicca, nothing, no lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies can even scratch us, ever. Yet, only you, only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, whether consciously or unconsciously, through hate, greed, anger, envy, deception, manipulation, worry, stress, fear, you will create a breach in your white fire armor, enough so to allow the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come rushing in. If you do decide to do this, you're immediately met with the purple transmuting flame. This reminds us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all of these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, send them to pure consciousness where they are, poof, gone permanently. We are then met with the violet ray. This is a column of light that reminds us all that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our perfect harmony of deep, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is the column of light that reminds every single one of us that we are the sun. We are the sunlight. We are the rain and the rainbow. We are the trees and the forest. We are the sunsets and the sunrises. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the animals, the soil. We are everything, the sky, the clouds. So the next time you see just an absolutely breathtaking sunset or sunrise, or oceanfront, or night sky, or day sky, and you're just in absolute awe of the tremendous beauty that you're viewing, it is because it is you. It is your divine perfection. It is the God source within you that you're in awe of. We continue to ascend above this planet. As we do, some of us step out of our physical form and float effortlessly above them if we're carrying physical form. Why do we do that? Because we can. And then as we do, we come into full contact with this massive crystalline light tower. We created this tower. It's larger than this solar system. That's massive. And in the center of it, we see this oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere is this golden white sparkling ball of light. It's surrounded by just numerous rings of beautiful shimmering colored lights. And the golden white ball of shimmering light is sending out these mist waves, these warm penetrating waves of energy. And it is deep eternal love. And then all the rings around it are doing the same, saturating us all, flooding and bathing us all head to toe, inside and out. And those are gratitude, deep eternal peace, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, well-being, benevolence, tranquility, prosperity, abundance, great wealth, joy, continually. This never stops because it is us. It is the God within us. The God within us is the golden, white, yellow ball of sparkling light. The rings are parts of us, of the God source, and from the God source. At the top, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down, as it does 360 degrees, as it does and is doing right now, flooding and saturating all of us with this deep, eternal love. All of our brothers and sisters, all life, the highest supreme value on and above and below this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now, and the liberation of this planet. We are drops of this golden ocean. We hold the essence of this golden ocean. The ocean is the drops, and the drops are the ocean. There's no separation. That's the illusion. We look and see that our meditative sphere, setting center circle. This sphere we created over 3 years ago. It contains well over 1,300 of our meditations in perpetual motion. Hundreds of millions of us, on and off world, committed here in the highest of the highest high vibrational frequencies of consciousness, deep eternal love and gratitude. In all of these meditations, over 3 years, all combined to the highest intent and vibrational frequency, flooding this planet, this civilization, on it, in it, above it, and below it. This planet cannot not be liberated. All the lower dark matter frequencies, survival matter frequencies, no matter how they're housed, no matter what they're representing, cannot sustain themselves in this ever-increasing higher and higher vibrational frequency. It is a fact. It isn't even debatable. That's why this sphere can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. This is why it continues to intensify, and this is why it continues to expand. And all of us are part of that sphere, the golden ocean, because we're everything. So you feel it. Feel the enlightenment. Feel yourselves leaving the mind and the ego and watching them, spectating, learning how they operate, so that eventually you're the master of them rather than them being the master of you. I'll join you in the meditation and return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly. When you become fully aware that you've always been in command of all things, we just forgot that we are. It's time for us to remember that we are. That we are the God source. That we are the God. That we are deep eternal love, gratitude, peace. That we step out of the ego mind. We watch them and we view them and we learn and we master. And all of our fear, all of our suffering, and all of our worry will simply vanish. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and into the following morning. And we'll return here Monday, April 19th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.